Hello everybody, this is Enchanted Life Path TV. I'm over on the video where Boris Johnson announced Britain was under lockdown, or the UK, and it was on March the 23rd. Now, I've had a look at it and just uploaded the video not long ago, saying is he in front of a green screen and having a look at a few things. So now I just want to record this again and take the footage from this video and zoom in my editor in Sony Vegas and show you clearly what I'm saying about this halo around him. You can see it mostly fine. He's got a blurring around this part of his elbow. Now our green screen would work, he'd be sat in front of a green screen, it would be behind him. You would then film him obviously in the editing suite. You would remove all the green screen and place this picture in behind it. And then if you got it wrong with your chroma keying a little bit somewhere along the line, just where it's hard just to cut it in completely, you would see like a strange blurring around him. And that's what you can see here. It looks like it anyway. No other reason for this blurring to be taking place. It's just the camera going out of focus. What is it? Well, you can see here as well, because he's in focus, the rest of it like blurred. So if this was camera work, that'd be, he's close to the camera, you'd have the aperture set so it blurred the background, and with him being close, that would blur the background. So good camera use can't be ruled out, but other things have got to be brought into consideration here. The fact that he is so close, and you don't tend to see the blurring everywhere, not as emphasised, but around here it is. And another place where it's highly emphasised is in here, in between his arm. Now he keeps his arms close all through the interview, which would be instructed from someone maybe who's using a green screen to keep your arms close, because it's a little bit hard to sort of do this just to cut it out and to make it look like it hasn't been done on the front of a green screen. She just, what he finds it is, right? So just pay attention to these areas for me. I'm going to play the interview, I'm going to slow it down at times as well, and then I'm going to take the footage, and as I'm talking I will be zooming in the footage and showing you this more clearly, so when we're actually, by the time you're watching it, I will have edited it and it will be zoomed in on these areas properly for you to have a good look, and for myself just to have a good look, because I'm just wondering, you know, it's not impossible for these people to do this. And why has he got so much lighting equipment and cameras? Is he a cameraman? You can see the light coming in on his face, lighting his eyes up there in front of him. You can see a light in front of him, maybe just on top of the camera or something, but you can see it here, lighting this up. Why is it not lighting the flag up too well? And maybe not, but this lighting in this room here, the way we can see light on door handles, that's also got to be brought into consideration. But at the same time, I wonder whether it's a different setting of lighting, whether that's just like the light that's been caught on that particular day, like where at a certain time of day, say sunrise. Now this is meant to have been at 8:30 at night. It was dark by then at 8:30 at night. So if this was alleged to be live, there was no sunlight coming in. The watch says 7:30 though. It could have may have still been light at 7:30 and that's just sunset. I can't quite remember on that day, but I have been watching the sunset, just can't remember what time it was setting at that time of the year, a few weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. Here we can see the sun graph for London throughout March. It shows you the sunrise and the sunset times. So the date of the video was the 23rd. We can check that out here. Boris Johnson uploaded on the 23rd. Okay, so if we come back here, on the 23rd, the sun set at 18:19, so 6:20 in the evening, the sun was setting. Okay, so what time was Boris Johnson doing this video? Around about 25 to 7 maybe on his watch, and not 7:30. So that's got to be brought into account. is this just an old picture and that's old lighting, and that lighting in this room is not being affected by this camera that's facing this way. What we're going to see is, you can see a shadow, I think it's a shadow coming off the leg of this chair in the background here, and the shadow is running that way from left to right on the screen as I'm looking at it now. Okay, just here, right along the back. Now, if there was a front light on him shining that way, I would think that maybe the shadow of this leg of the chair may be casting that way onto the door, maybe, or going that way. We do seem to see one coming in this way, which suggests a light source coming in from the side. Now, it does appear that there is a light source from the side, maybe lighting the side of his head up, lighting this side of me here up. Not too sure, but that could just again be this front light. What we can definitely see, his face is lit up. That's what you do in editing. You can see the light on his hands. Here, just that shadow there throws me as to whether there is actually a side source of light coming in. See the shadow here? But then on his shoulder there is another light source. So, maybe help me out here, what I'm looking at, what are we all looking at? Is Boris in front of a green screen. Now I'm going to show you the footage now, I'm going to start playing it. But again, pay attention to all these factors, even if you move the table. I don't know what the flag's sitting on, but does the flag ever move? It never moves. Let's just have a watch.
Threat this country has faced for decades, and this country...
Remember to pay attention to the blaring around the bottom of his arm.
...impact of this invisible killer. And so, tonight, I want to update you on the latest steps we're taking to fight the disease and what you can do to help. And I want to begin by reminding you why the UK has been taking the approach that we have. Without a huge national effort to halt the growth of this virus, there will come a moment when no health service in the world could possibly cope, because there won't be enough ventilators, enough intensive care beds, enough doctors and nurses.
Does his watch actually say about 20 to 6? And not 7:30? It's 1 to 2, but either way, it doesn't say 8:30, I don't think it's that far up to say 8:30. Maybe it's just small, looking at something that's tiny, something that, again, that I'll zoom in on. But again, pay attention to this area here, and in here, in between his arm, okay? And shortly I will start to slow the footage down.
That also have fantastic healthcare systems, that is the moment of real danger. To put it simply, if too many people become seriously unwell at one time, the NHS will be unable to handle it, meaning more people are likely to die, not just from coronavirus, but from other illnesses as well.
He's got a halo around him. Look, see it there again now, when he moves his arm away. Haloing. All of that behind him can be a picture. Another thing I notice is the rim of the table as well. See the edge of the table, it's got a black strip down it. And I wonder whether that's just the edge of the table, or I wonder whether it's a part of the editing. Just hasn't managed to get it quite that close right up to the rim of the table. You can see, strange. Pay attention in his arm now. I'm so sorry about that coming up then, but look in between his arm now. It's the blaring. But with the camera being that close, like I said, with the aperture, could just be good camera work, but there's no reason for the colour change. It should be red, if we're seeing through there bits of red. And the blading around the bottom of his elbow as well, and that gap in between his arm. I don't want to put this thing up because it darkens the screen.
The police will have the powers to enforce them, including through fines and dispersing gatherings. To ensure compliance with the government's instruction to disperse, No, Prime
See the white? Ah, what was that? What was that? Right, 3 minutes 40, say 45 seconds.
will be dispersed.
Just let me,
No, Prime Minister.
right, playback speed 0.25, put this back here, 346.
Open for exercise.
What's the white, bright white come in? That's just out of character with the whole back setting. Watch what happens now.
Dispersed. No.
See it?
Prime Minister wants to enact measures.
It wasn't even the same lighting as anything else in the room, really.
I know the damage that this destruction is doing
What's
and will do to
this is
people's
CGI Boris.
their businesses and to their jobs. And that's why
Look,
we produce
it's not the same lighting, it's brighter.
an unprecedented program of support both for work.
But again, that's just my initial observations. Now, what do other people think? You see, it just does not seem to be in the same light. Strange, Boris, that's strange. Where is Boris Johnson? Where is he? Just remember, he's got a light on him here, right in his face. Doesn't seem to be the same lighting as what's in the room and what's popping through his arm. When the blaring breaks away and he is just sitting in front of the imposed picture in the back, you will see the picture, you should see the rug and what have you. But that initial blaring part by him and this bright light that's seeping through it, strange. Now look at, again, around his elbow, why's he got that halo in? I need to show you green screen errors a moment, let me show you. Okay, so I've just found a quick video, how to avoid 5 common green screen mistakes, visual effects 101 from Surface Studios, thanks for this.
Hey guys, when you're using a green screen, it's easy to create a huge number of cool visual effects like spending all your free time at your favorite imaginary beach. However, it is just as easy to screw up a whole number of things that just make you wanna punch yourself in the face because you have to spend hours in post-production fixing it.
A common problem with green screens, especially in action movies, is that you get a lot of motion blur in front of the green screen. Motion blur in front of your green screen can really be a problem, simply because wherever you have motion blur, the object or your actor are basically being blurred together with the green of the background, which means your chroma key won't be able to tell the difference. If I now apply a chroma key to this, you can already see how part of the gun is disappearing, and even if I try to increase the clips to try to get as much out of this as possible, part of the gun is simply going to disappear because it blended together with the green screen. The solution to this is to record your footage at a higher shutter speed, which will reduce the blur you get in every frame of the image. Because you have less blur on your object or your actor, there is not much blending together with the green screen, which then means that you can apply a green screen effect and fairly cleanly key out your actor and your object even during fast movements.
Crazy adventure to this cold and dark place that... Alright, honestly, I just have been busy lately. But, speaking of green screens, they're not only a great way to put you into a different place, they're an awesome way to do a number of effects, and I use them all the time. Shutter speed. Now, shutter speed controls the motion blur that you're going to see in your shot. A 180-degree shutter angle most closely mimics real-life motion blur, so this is often what you're going to set your camera to. For instance, if you're shooting at 24 frames per second, you'd be shooting at roughly a 50 shutter speed, and if you were shooting at 60 frames per second, you'd be shooting at roughly a 120 shutter speed. If you were to shoot a lower shutter speed, you'd be seeing more motion blur, and a higher shutter speed, you'd be seeing less motion blur. But when you have...
What's the next one?
Now, you can do a lot of this in post just by trying to match the color correction, but if your background ends up having a bright sun in it, and you don't have that bright kind of...
She looks like blending.
having a bright sun in it, and you don't have that bright kind of lighting in your shot, it's just not going to look realistic. When I did this effect here, I knew I wanted this background, so what I did is I shot that background, and then I brought out my green screen. I used just that natural lighting so that the lighting I knew would match from my background to whatever I shot in front of it. Now let's take a look at that shot from the beginning and how to kind of match that up, because you wouldn't want the color correction from this shot to be the one that you see here with a much brighter background. You're going to want to up that background quite a bit. There's a couple things we can do to really kind of help this particular shot.
So just to give you a little idea of the green screen work, so what do we think about Boris Johnson with his...
That is why people will only be allowed to leave their home for the following very limited purposes. Shopping for basic necessities as infrequently as possible. One form of exercise a day, for example, a run, walk or cycle, alone or with members of your household. Any medical need to provide care or to help a vulnerable person, and travelling to and from work, but only where this is absolutely necessary and cannot be done from home. That's all. These are the only reasons you should leave your home. You should not be meeting friends.
Well, okay. Let's have a look at that all together. I'm going to go and edit this now, and by the time you watch it, you'll have seen the edited version. This is EnchantedLifeForce TV. Thanks for watching, and speak soon.